Question for you, America.
Who's going to pay for the wall? Who's going to pay for the wall? Who's going to pay for the wall?
But I thought Vicente Fox, he said, we are never going to pay for that wall. Remember that? Oh, really, dude? I mean, you might not have a choice, my homie, unless you find a way to stop illegals from pouring into this country. I mean, if you can find a way that doesn't include a wall, then great. But until then, we are taxing the snot out of your products, and there's nothing you can do about it. Here's my question, all right? If tariffs don't actually hurt the country they are imposed on, and it's only the American consumers who are hurt, then why do other countries always get so mad? You mad, bro? Why do they always get so mad when we impose them? Why do they always retaliate? The answer is because it does hurt them. Foreign exporters often absorb a large percentage of these increased tariffs because they drop their prices, they have to maintain access to our market, which they cannot afford to lose. So the Trump administration, big announcement announcing a 5% tariff going up every single month until they stop illegal immigration. Oh, it's not a tax on Mexico. The American people will end up holding the bag. Just don't buy as many Mexican products, all right? I mean, it's easy. I mean, really, would it kill you people to go a bit without buying Coronas and Dos Equis? I mean, I'm sorry. I am sorry it's going to be more expensive for you to party, all right? Your chips and guac are going to be more expensive. Your margaritas will be a little more expensive. Your Tecate and Modelo will be more expensive. So sorry, the price of your Cinco de Mayo Rager is going to be a little bit pricier, okay? I mean, that's all cultural appropriation anyway. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. The idea that a tariff is going to hurt the American people more than what illegal immigration is already doing is a joke. It's a joke. You want to know what illegal immigration is costing us? Quote, even after deducting the $19 billion in taxes paid by illegal immigrants, because I was like, well, they're taxpayers too. Well, even after all of that, the 12.5 million of them living in the country, and that is a modest estimate, results in a $116 billion burden on the economy and taxpayers each year. About 2/3 of this amount is absorbed by local and state taxpayers, who are often the least unable to share the costs. And let's not forget that non-citizen families are twice as likely to receive welfare payments than native-born families. Half of non-citizens receive Medicaid, whereas only 23% of native-born citizens do. Almost half of non-citizens, they are on food stamps. You think this doesn't hurt our economy? You think taxpayers aren't already paying a lot for the cost of illegal immigration? Think again. And that's, by the way, that's just the monetary costs, right? That's not the humanitarian costs. More than 75,000 families have crossed this month and 4 children have died. More than 80,000 migrants are currently in immigration custody. 2,350 unaccompanied children are currently being held in custody at the border as of yesterday. 400 children arrived within the past 24 hours. The month of May is on pace to be the highest month of illegal crossings in over 12 years. And it's getting worse, folks. It's getting worse. According to Homeland Security Acting Secretary McAleenan, one day this week, a single group of 1,036 families and unaccompanied children simply walked. They just trotted on over from Juarez, Mexico into the United States illegally as a single group. The number of people in custody is simply not sustainable with the resources we have now. ICE's immediate detention facilities at the border are overwhelmed, all right? Children are literally dying. We've got the highest level ever of children. They are currently waiting in custody, and they are waiting to be put in a facility with decent conditions because Health and Human Services has run out of bed space. We have adults, all right, who are smuggling kids that aren't even theirs. They are risking those kids' lives. Many of them are coming with drugs, by the way. I mean, it's a disaster. And Mexico is doing nothing. They are not doing a damn thing. So it's clearly a national emergency because that's why the president declared it as such. And it would behoove the president to shut down the border once and for all. We're still waiting for that. He says he's not going to do it. We are waiting for the president to shut down the border. However, that does not mean that we still shouldn't do what we can to urge Mexico to assist. And here are some steps that Mexico could take. I mean, first they could, help build the wall for us, really, if they wanted to. But if they don't want to build the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border, they could secure their southern border with Guatemala. They could crack down on the transnational criminal and drug operations. They could work with the U.S. on working together on asylum. According to the acting Secretary of Homeland Security, we need to be able to protect people in the first safe country they arrive in, really all through the hemisphere, but certainly with our partner to the south. Again, Trump could always make Mexico pay through remittances. I mean, that was a thing. That was his plan during the campaign. Shut down remittances from Mexicans here illegally in America to their families in Mexico. Those remittances essentially serve as welfare for Mexicans, since the Mexican government doesn't provide its own welfare like we do. They don't provide their own for the Mexican people. So poor people in Mexico, they rely on these remittances from illegals here in America, and shutting them down would be devastating for them, and therefore the government would have no choice but to cave. Now, the other thing that could be done, which actually appears to already be in the works, would be choking off asylum for Central Americans if they resided in a country other than their own before coming to the U.S. I mean, this would be a great first step in terms of shutting down the border completely. And now would be a great time to shut it all down. The president says he's not. I would urge him to reconsider that. It's just my humble opinion. Because you know what? Congress, they certainly aren't helping. Congress is not doing jack squat. All right? And we need to do everything in our power to fix this border crisis. We need to get Mexico to help. We need to shut down the border. We need to end asylum for the time being, at least. We need to start building the wall. We need to finish the wall. And we also need to engage our military on the border so that we can once and for all fix this awful crisis at the border.